So we've been keeping a little bit of a secret from you guys. You've been watching the last few videos and we've been making hay and then storing it in an under roof cover area. Well, yeah guys, we just bought a 150-year-old farm. Right here is one of the barns. So we've been working on this deal for a while now and it's finally all done and it is ours, and we are excited to share the new farm with you guys in this new adventure. We have a lot to show you, a lot to go over, and we have a lot of exploring to do here at the farm. There's a lot of big old buildings that we haven't gone through, and whatever is left at the farm is now ours. So we get to go adventuring and seeing what is here and just finding out more and more history about this farm. So let me show you one of the barns.
We are so excited and we didn't want to keep this secret. It just hasn't been final until now.
Yes. So this is one of the barns. Bam. Then over here, we got a roof, like a run-in area. Then we have this big old roof here, and that's where we've been storing the hay. And then over here, we have another lean-to roof. We've already been bringing over some of our stuff. We had to get some of our stuff moved. The old owners have been really nice and they were letting us hay. We were able to store our hay here already. And we were able to bring over some of the stuff that we needed to move already. So let's go over to this side and we'll show you guys the lean-to over here, and we'll show you the side view of the barn, and then we'll show you more that we have to explore.
So everybody that said that Al needs to put his equipment under cover, now he has a place to put it.
So this is our lean-to roof. We got the excavator already here because we got work to do with it. We got our brush hog, our flail mower. We have our old smoker. We brought that over here. Canoe, kayak. We have some fencing projects we got to do because we got to redo some fencing so we can get the cows over here. So Tractor Supply had a good sale on fencing, so I picked that up the other day. We got our old beehives. I got pallet forks here. We got the haying equipment up above. The barn is 120 feet long, and so is the roof overhang, and it's pretty deep. I'll have to get better measurements. This farm was originally built in the 1800s. This barn right here was built a little bit later. I believe this one was built in the 1900s. From all the history that we can find, there was 2 dairy farms here in the past, and then there was a beef farm. And the latest livestock they've had here in the past has been horses, but it hasn't really been used for a farm in quite a few years. The hay fields have been kept up and either brushed hogged or made into hay. But this barn, do we go in this door or do we go in that door?
Are we going in now?
I was just gonna open the door.
Oh.
Because we have a lot of exploring to do. We want to show you guys everything at first. I'm just gonna open the door real quick. So this barn is the old dairy barn, but it hasn't been used for dairy cows in a very long time. It's been used as an equipment shed and a storage shed for a business they used to run out of here. So we have a lot of stuff to find in there, but that's gonna be another day because there's a lot in there. So we'll shut this up and explore that later. There's one more door over here. I'll give you a sneak peek in there. So we have been in all of these buildings, but we haven't explored them and really looked to see what's inside, because we want to do that with you guys and share that experience for the first time with you. But in here, I think, I'd love to find out some like real history on this. I think this must have been the way they came in, and they must have had their horses stored here. And I'm wondering if this is how they did the milk deliveries. But also, one of the owners was either a doctor or a vet. So I don't know if like this is where they kept their horses in carriage maybe, so if they had to make house calls. I don't know.
I saw some fun stuff in there.
There's fun stuff, I think, everywhere. And then over here, this is the workshop. So I'm not exactly sure all about it, but we have a fuel tank, which is gonna be awesome for all of our equipment. We have an attic. I've never been in the attic, so we're gonna have to explore up there sometime. That back room is connected to the workshop, but the workshop doesn't go that far back. So I feel like I'm jumping around. Let's put the workshop on hold for this minute. Let's go back to the barn. So now we can see the front view of the barn. So this is the front of the barn. When we first started, that was the back. You have your big sliding doors that go inside. But we're not gonna go inside yet. We have other stuff to show you outside. I'm not too sure if this is just decoration or if this was an old water trough, or maybe both. Looks like it's growing weeds and some flowers. But I think Gina's gonna have that filled with flowers at some point. So over here is a concrete wall, small one, with holes in it. So I'm pretty sure this used to be a fenced in barnyard. And then we have an old gate that I think would have locked off the barnyard, because the concrete has circular holes in it like where a fence post would be. So then this would have been a barnyard area. Let me close this gate. So don't look at these buildings yet. We're not gonna get in those right this minute. Let's finish looking at the big barn, but we got some stuff over here too. So over here would be the barnyard, and you have two side doors that would enter the barn for animals. So I'm assuming those are pens for, I don't know if they were pregnant cows, bulls, pigs. But then over here, we did some digging around the other day, and this is a livestock waterer. This one does not work.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be a frost-free hydrant that the animals can drink out of without you having to fill it. It's an automatic waterer. So then over here, we have another big sliding door into the barn. So I'm not sure how this was used originally, but I do know originally this roof right here that we've been storing the hay under is not original to the farm. This is actually a really cool piece of history. This used to be in a different part of town. They moved it over here. This is from the 1800s itself. I'm not sure when it got moved over here, but this used to be at the railroad station where people would stand under to wait to catch the train and for everything to get unloaded under. And it's a really cool piece of history and a really cool building here that we have. So then this area right here is another like run-in area. There's hooks on this post so you can have a gate. And then there's another gate on the back side over here. We'll walk through here. Oh, and if these look familiar, remember all the cedar logs we had loaded up? We had Gina's father turn those into fence posts for us. So that big fencing project I was telling you guys about, this is also part of it. We're gonna need more fence posts, but this is the start. And then back here we have another gate, and we can't go out it right now because there's actually some old farm equipment. We have some old harrows, and I believe we got a plow, a York rake, and that's all ours now too. But we'll go back through, and back there is another waterer. So we're thinking this will be like another good separation area. We can have a fenced in back pasture for whatever animal we have in here. And we need to separate country from the ladies. Miles and Country can come over here. They'll have their own waterer and we can fence them in. So I believe this area is going to be for them. We still haven't made our mind up 100%, but we're just running different scenarios through our head. So now let's go back over here and we'll see what equipment we got left. There's something undercover here. I don't know what that is. We'll have to figure that out. There's a big concrete pillar. I don't know if that's poured or if that's just something that's sitting there. There's some granite posts. We got some cedar fence posts there. We have a York rake. This looks like a plow and has two plows and two discs, and it's got a little marker so you can know where you plowed and where you haven't. I'm not sure what this piece of equipment is. I'll have to get it out sometime, but it looks kind of like a roll or a press.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be something you'd go around and condition the hay with after you mowed it. So a lot of hay mowers, you can get a conditioner mower all in one. I don't know if back in the day, they just made a conditioner that you'd pull behind and go over the hay with. So if you guys know about that, leave it in the comments below. There's something else over here. that hooks up to a PTO. I don't know if it's a rototiller or what it is, but it is all covered in vines. And then we have a couple of harrows over here, and under that's all concreted in. And that's the 2 plow that I was talking about with 2 discs on it. Looks like we have a 3-point hitch spreader. Then this is an old wagon. They used to make gigantic square hay bales here. And this is an old Heston trailer that went with the baler. And I don't know exactly how it works. I want to try to do some more history on it. They put this deck on it. Originally, it had this gear-driven stuff, and it would pull this big, gigantic square bale up. So we got to figure that out. But this is left for us. This will be a hay wagon for us, which will be nice to have. Big old flotation tires. There's no model information on it, so I'm not sure exactly what, but there's gears and like a chain. It's kind of like gear driven. It looks like the old manure spreader that we have. So if you guys know any information about this style of trailer and how it was originally used, leave it in the comments down below. We'd really appreciate it. Right here we have a serial number. It just says made by Heston, Kansas, and it doesn't say anything else. We got a patent number. So it says Stack Mover 30. That's kind of cool. So this is back behind the railroad truss with that other run-in area. I said like we could put country in, and there's a waterer here. I believe it's a waterer. I'm assuming it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, is that like a snake thing?
Snake skin.
Stop, I think I just saw something fall.
Yeah,
That's probably a snake.
I'll have to see if that one works. And then that's the back of the barn, which you guys have already seen. I'm gonna call this the railroad truss, which we have all of the hay under. So far we have 4 of the bays filled up with hay. We'll have to clean out the other 2 bays, because I'm assuming those are gonna get filled up with hay too this year. So back here, looks like this concrete. I'm not sure how far the concrete goes. It's all grassed in. It's grassed in here. I have to get a piece of equipment out here and just clear this all off because it's covered in grass, but it goes pretty far. So looking over the front and the back of the barn, there's 2 doors for the hayloft, and there's this huge metal rod that runs through the top of it. So I'm assuming that's how they used to get the hay in back in the day. And unfortunately, back in the day, they didn't have YouTube, so we can't go on YouTube and watch old videos to see how they did everything. But that'd be cool if there was old videos, like when they built this place or when they worked it, to see, like, how is this barn built? Gina would not like watching me build this barn by myself. I mean, I'm sure I would try, but luckily that's already done for us.
I have no doubt. As you can tell, we are super excited and we have a lot of projects ahead of us.
So we don't go on vacations and do trips and stuff like that. And it was just our 20-year wedding anniversary, and I told Gina, I bought you a farm instead. So I don't know about you, but I'd rather have a big old farm than go on fancy trips.
Or a big diamond ring or anything. So instead of going on vacation or a big diamond ring for our 20th, we've got a farm, and we are so excited.
And then this is the run-in barn connected to the pasture. And this is the pasture we need to re-fence. So we have a nice big run-in barn with electricity. So we have lights in here. We'll be able to put fans in here so when it gets really hot, the Highland cattle can have fans if they need to. We'll have to figure out exactly how we want to set this up. When I was cleaning out the railroad truss, there's some older hay up in there, so I just put that down in here for now because I need to get it out. So we need to come in here, clean everything up, get the hay bales out, figure out how we want to set up the center. We're gonna have somebody coming and helping us with designing some of this stuff, so we're gonna wait, which won't be that long, to figure that stuff out. And then the front building is the original milking room, which is kind of cool. So that building is original, and that's where they used to do all the milking for the cows. So I'm not exactly sure when this was built, but this is not this run-in building is not original. As you can see, it's telephone poles, so that's not back from the 1800s. That was probably, I don't know if it was later 1900s at some point. I actually wonder if we can find old metal bands on the telephone poles that have like the number and the year. Sometime you can. I was just looking over here and we have some old power cords that have plug-in ends in them. And there's a electrical box right up there. So I know these waters, which there's one right here. So we have the automatic waterer right here, and then inside there is a defroster. So I'm wondering if that's how they get plugged in. That would kind of make sense, because those are some big old wires, and you could plug them in there, and then you'd go here. I know this waterer used to be hooked up to that one, but that one at some point leaked, so that one is not working right now. But all the wiring was buried underground, so I bet you one of those plugs is for this one, and the other plug is for that one. So the thing that keeps the animals in the run is gates. So if we ever wanted to, we could have the gates open this way. If you ever wanted to run them into the barn or have them out back here, we can figure that all out, because every section has a gate on it that you could open. Just walking by the milking room and I was looking up, the roof here, you have 2 layers of wooden shingles, and you have 2 or 3 layers, probably 2 layers of asphalt shingles, and then it is strapped with a metal roof. But that definitely dates it, that it has old wooden shingles for the original roof. So that's definitely from the 1800s, this building. They must have had heat out here, the old chimney, but you can tell it's been capped, so it hasn't been used for a while. All of the structures here have metal roofs, which is awesome. I like metal roofs, and they're already done. And then in here we have part of the milking room, and there is 2 sections to the milking room. I just turned the light on. It's pretty dark in here. We've got to keep the door open. It looks to me like this right here used to be a sliding door, because you got the old barn hardware. I'm thinking they used to run the cows in here. Bam. Because right now it's a window from the other side, but it's all framed up. And then over here, I think that's original. We have some older equipment. I'm pretty sure there's an attic up above.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know how we get there. You get this room. Looks like we've got some old parts to one of the waters from before. Looks to me like the last thing that this was used for was a tack room. I have no idea what this is. Hopefully it's not locked.
You might say that a lot. Oh, it's just
It's an empty roof rack, I want to say, maybe for skis. I don't know. I want to say it would go on a roof of a vehicle, and maybe you'd put your skis or your snowboard in there.
As long as nothing jumps out.
Not yet, anyways. Then it's got another room to it that looks basically the same as the other one. So now let's go over here and look at one of the pastures that we haven't mowed for hay or done anything with yet. So we have one of the pastures behind us over here. We have not mowed this one yet. I want to leave this one, and I got to show it to somebody first, and I want to have them see what we have in there for vegetation, just kind of how it's growing, so we can check out the soil.
It's beautiful.
It is a beautiful pasture. We have been trying to buy this farm for over 6 years now. So we've been working on this for a long time, and we have always eyeballed the pastures. They're really good. They make nice hay. As far as I know, they've never been sprayed, or they haven't been fertilized with anything. So some people might be like, you need fertilizer, the soil is depleted. We want farmland that has never had any of that stuff on it, or at least not for a long time. So the soil here that I've seen is really nice, and it grows nice pasture. They used to run cows here, and they were just moving from pasture to pasture. So we got to figure out more of that end, but there's just always just animals on it, leaving behind the manure and stuff like that. So that really excites me. So over here we have the back side of the workshop. This side, it's got some barbed wire sticking out of it. I don't want to mess with that yet. Oh, we got a bird in there. This would be actually, if we run out of hay storage, we could just put hay in here.
What is this for?
I don't know what it's for. But like that side comes out. This
Is it
side,
like a garage, like a parking spot?
maybe, or park equipment. This side is part of the workshop.
Right.
That side, I don't know what that side is because it's really not part of the workshop. So I
Well,
wonder.
you kind of, I think you pull this doors and then that gets shut and then that can be open. I don't know.
Right. This looks like some kind of old blacksmith and forge.
Oh, is that what that is?
I think so. Like you'd have your flame going up here. This, I don't know.
I want to do
turns,
some blacksmithing.
And in here, that rotates. And I'm thinking this right here is where you'd put a blower to get your coals really hot.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then you can open up your pan back there. I see some lettering on it, but I can't make it out. So a lot of the stuff that we're gonna find here, we're gonna need you guys' help with, like letting us know if you've seen something like that before and what it is, because I'm thinking it's some kind of forge or part of a forge, but I don't know what that says. I mean, that's some old cast metal. This is barbed wire. It's supposed to be up there, but I don't know why they'd have barbed wire up on a roof.
It must have brought it to somewhere else. Because
No.
it's like hooked up there.
It's barbed wire on insulators. Maybe they use that, maybe they electrified that back in the day? I don't know. Because there's another insulator right here that it's wrapped around. That would have came off the soffit. I mean, that is super old barn hardware. Let's see how good it slides.
We've never opened that.
Nope, we've never.
Have you been back there?
So the barbed wire just ends here. But it had regular copper wire wrapped to it. And then there's a switch here that says off. Let me know, did people actually electrify barbed wire for electric fence too?
Coulda.
Back in the day? I'm thinking that's what that was for.
What is that thing?
What is what thing? What is that? I don't know. So we have some kind of old hydraulics. This looks to me like an old sharpening wheel. It's got an electric motor in it. It's got a rubber tire that's been added to it. So my guess is you'd fill that with water, you would turn this on, and you'd use this for sharpening your tools. Like you'd spin it. I don't think the electric motor is original. So we got an old bicycle fender, some turnbuckle inner parts, and section to a two-person crosscut saw. What is this?
Like a fence thing?
I don't know what this
That you tighten the
is.
fence?
I have no idea what this would be.
You know what I'm saying though?
I do.
It is.
You got an old side blade, and this thing looks like it's been used. 'Cause look how thin that is.
That's from a sigh?
That's from a sigh. I mean, that
Wow.
thing's been sharpened quite. It's sharp right
Careful.
now. But that thing has been sharpened. So this is how they used to cut their hay around here. Imagine doing what we've been doing just with this. I wonder how many people it would take.
And then is there another one right here?
This is some
So-
old, yep, that's another sigh. That's some kind of old tool. Not sure what that was from.
And whatever this is right here is another one right here.
Wow, this one's easier to get to.
Careful, that other thing.
Oh, it looks like it was an old thread cutter.
Thread
Like
cutter.
you'd put this on a pipe, and then you would turn it and you would
Oh, so I
thread it.
kind of was thinking right. Well, I was thinking
That's-
like you tighten a fence with it, but
I'm thinking that was for cutting threads on pipe. That's kind of wild. That would take a lot of.
and then another side thing or what?
Strength.
Right here.
Oh yeah, that's a long one, long side blade. And maybe this was an old hay hook or pot to one.
Or the flip the hay.
Yep. I wonder if this used to be where they did all their blacksmithing.
Yeah, because
Like,
it's that hole.
They got the hole.
The tools.
They have, I want to say, this might have been for horseshoeing, for cutting the nails and stuff. So if you were blacksmithing
I don't think that's.
and shoeing horses, you would have had to fit your shoes and bend them and heat them up and then trim the horse's hoofs. So I bet you this was the old blacksmithing area here and there. That's pretty cool. Watch out for barbed wire. It's rusty too. We better make sure we have our tetanus shots updated. And that's a nice big old apple tree right in the middle of the pasture. So this pasture is kind of cool. It goes up and it's like terraced almost. And then once you get up above, it's nice and flat and it's hilly down below. And then there are some old roads or trail systems, I guess you'd call them, that run out throughout the area. And I honestly believe if you look around here, there's a bunch of old pine trees. And what those are called is they're called pasture pines. So where there's old pasture that was not always maintained, the pine trees grow up in them. So a lot of the areas where you see big pine trees, they used to be pasture. So there's trails all throughout this property. I haven't been on them all. I've only walked that one a little bit. And the other cool thing about this property is it's all fed by natural springs. So there's another one up in that hayfield we were just cutting, a trail that goes over, and there's the big spring. I'll have to bring you guys up there. And then I don't know how far the trails keep going, but the trails bring you to areas that aren't pasture anymore. But back in the 1800s, they would lead the cows out to different pastures. So there's some really cool old history and exploring we'll have to do. The trails are still like usable. They probably need to get mowed right now, but we'll have to get the side-by-side over here and go check out the spring and go check out that one. This grass is so high, we don't want to be walking through it right now because unfortunately too, it's tick season. So if we go walking through there, we're just going to be loaded with ticks. So that we'll have to explore once we mow some hay. There's a bunch of things that we're really excited about this property. And one of them is it is all natural spring fed. There's actually 2 springs that are captured on this property. One is not being used right now, but it actually runs through the front pasture and the animals have access to that year round. And then the other one, I'm gonna go up above and I'm gonna show you guys. Into the woods we go. We don't go that way. We're going this way. The other trail that I know about is the other field on the other side of the red barn. So I'm wondering if this lane connects down there to that trail or if they meet up somewhere. But I don't know. We're gonna have to figure that out someday. This is the spring house. And if you look down here, down there, I don't know if you can see it, but the barn is way down there. So I don't know what the elevation change is. I would have to look and see what the elevation change is because I don't know exactly. So this is the well house. This is some kind of overflow. We've got water coming out of it. And then down here must be how the pipes run. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear running water, just like a trickle. So this whole trail we'll have to redo or clean back up, I should say, and make it a good trail because this is where the water line runs. So if we ever need to make any repairs, we can. Because I'm sure we're gonna have to someday, so we want to be prepared for that. Bam. I'm not sure when the spring house was redone. I need a better flashlight. A nice clear spring water, an overflow there. There is the water line. Wow, that looks nice. And then something right there. So by the looks of all this material, this spring was not redone that long ago, which is exciting. I'd love to figure out what kind of line is the main water line. I'll have to kind of get a better flashlight to look in there. I don't think I could tell. Maybe on camera I can go back and look, but in real life, I can't see what kind of water line that is. This trail, we definitely need to figure it out. But there's a lot of old, big pine trees, oak trees. None of our other properties have ever had oak trees, which excites me because oak trees, the acorns are feed for deer, but also for pigs. We're gonna be able to run pigs into this wood. So this property right now is 2/3 pasture, a third of it is woods. So the woods will come in very handy for running pigs, and then we can use the pigs to clear some of this old fields and make into pasture. And we're gonna be having a guest coming to help us figure out how to set up this farm. We wanna turn this back into a regenerative agriculture farm, and we wanna do it right from the beginning. And if you guys have been following along with me and Gina, we love doing projects. We love taking on big projects. It's just what excites us. This used to be a built-in swimming pool here, but it was converted to a garden and then a flower garden. I am wondering, is this asparagus?
That is definitely asparagus.
We have an asparagus patch here. So
I can't believe I didn't notice that.
when we're revitalizing this garden, we'll have to make sure we save the asparagus. And another
Sure.
cool thing we found, or should I say, Gina found it. We have a big old patch of blueberries. So if you guys have been watching our channel for a while, you know I planted Gina her dream blueberry patch, and then we never got any blueberries off of them. They were at the old homestead. So now that we have this property, there is an old blueberry patch, and this thing used to be bigger, but they have cut it back because it was getting way overgrown. So it's gonna get even bigger and bushier. And look at these blueberries. Would you just look at that?
I'm so excited, and it's almost blueberry season, so
Right.
look at all those.
I almost want to say there's a couple of different varieties because
Yeah, because they're smaller and bigger.
smaller and bigger.
Yeah.
You got different color leaves. You got bigger
True.
blueberries here, and we got smaller ones here. And I'm pretty sure there's really small ones on this side. Those are a lot smaller.
Yeah.
So that is awesome.
I bet they might be
Ooh.
nice and sweet too.
They're starting to ripen. Maybe soon.
What a great anniversary present.
And then there's the original old farmhouse. We do have plans to be doing some restoring to the old farmhouse. You guys know how we love our projects, and we have a lot here that we are excited about. We got the house that we get to restore. We got the old workshop that we can actually work in and restore. The barn, we got some exploring to do in there. We have not been in there looking to see what's in there. I've been in the barn, I've checked over like the bones of it before we purchased it, so I had to see all that stuff, but it is loaded with stuff. And at the time we didn't own it, so I wasn't looking to see what is in it. And the way it is whatever was left with the farm when we bought it is ours. So there's a bunch of stuff to look through.
So we're gonna get more in detail about the old farmhouse in another video, so you'll have to stay tuned because we're pretty excited about that too.
We are. There's lots of stuff inside of that. Now we need to figure out the next video. If we bring you in the house and explore that, if we go into this big barn, it's 40 by 120 feet. It is 2 stories, which the second story is pretty much 2 stories together. It is massive up there. So there's lots of stuff we got to check out and we need to explore. So we're going to be saving that for another video because we know this video is getting long enough. We are excited to get in there and to see what is in there. It's killing us more than it's killing you right now because you're going, oh, I want to watch it. We will. We just got to do it in another video.
We do apologize for holding out on you for a little bit, but until it was actually signed, we did not want to actually come out and say this is property is ours, but now we can.
It feels good that we can share this now with you guys, and we are excited to get in there and show you more about the farm and find out more history and just go through it. So this is where we're going to end this video. Thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. We might have to call it our farming journey now. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to do all the crazy stuff that we do here at Lumnah Acres. So we appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of our heart, and we'll see you right back here in the next video. Bye.
Bye.